All right, sorry, I will have to repeat myself because for the benefit of the others. Guys, so we are discussing about the contest results. I have not named the winners yet. We were just going over some of the feedback that we got from an independent panel of judges who took care, who looked into the reports. The combined experience of the judges is more than 50 years. So we are not questioning their judgment, and we are not asking them any counter questions as to what you did or what you found, or why do you think these are the 6 people who are. So we have not gone ahead and asked those questions. Some of the highlights, like I mentioned, was a lot of people have submitted bug reports instead of test reports. Bug report is a part of a test report, basically, not a whole report in itself. Secondly, not many people, like Sachin corrected me, have tried to do everything. Like, for example, a test strategy, for example, a little bit of highlighting what tests, what are the bugs, highlighting where exactly the problem is. There was a good product coverage outline that was done by, I think, by Sunny. There was a very good feature mind map. I think that was done by Rahul. There was a very good functional flow diagram which was done by, I think, Himani. So so there are things like that which are standing out in the reports. But overall, somehow, what has happened is, again, Sachin, you may correct me, is that the judges, they were looking at all aspects, but somehow some people who have done one bit have fallen short on the other part, right? So that was quite challenging for them to arrive at clear winners. Like Sachin was saying, it was thought that, okay, it is a very common everyday use app, so you will all be very familiar with it, and it would be fairly easy for you to test that. But it turned out that there are a lot of things that you could have done. For example, like I was saying earlier, you could have been ready for the contest with a template of sorts, and you could have used that to your advantage. So that would have saved a lot of time. Or, for example, if you would have thought about a mnemonic test strategy in place, or some kind of a heuristic, because there are a lot of references that are available because you knew that you were going to test a mobile app. Okay, that was announced much earlier. So that sort of preparation was expected and was found missing. We were, of course, hoping for a bigger attendance. Unfortunately, there were only 17 people who submitted their reports, which was pretty disappointing for us, because we thought that people would be interested in participating in the contest, even if they are not interested in attending the class that James is offering. Well, but then we do have 6 winners, and those 6 winners will, of course, get an opportunity to attend James's class for free. Okay, the class is still on. It is on the 7th of October. Yeah, so again, Sachin, Faiz, have I missed anything so far?
No.
No, I think that's
Faiz,
all.
Faiz, you want to add something?
I think whatever feedback we got from the panel of judges, I think you have almost covered everything as far as I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing, okay. So there were requests from some of you guys that the reports should be shared with everybody so that you all can learn from each other. Well, we have been advised against doing that by the judges themselves. We asked them their opinion if it's a good idea to share the reports. Now, the judges, based on their experience, feel that there is a chance of people getting a little anxious about why not me and why somebody else and things like that. And if the reports are in the open, then we will form people will form their own opinions, and the judges will be questioned, which I think will be unfair to the judges because they have been absolutely neutral in deciding uh, who the winners are. They don't know you guys, they don't know you personally or whatever, but we know you personally, so we thought that okay, we should not be judging because our personal biases would come into play. So that was the reason, and we do not want anybody to question the judges or form opinions against any other tester. So that is why we have decided consciously after seeking an opinion from the judges that we will not be sharing the reports in public. However, we would be discussing some salient points. I will be picking up a list of all the points and will be sharing it with all of you. Okay. Sachin, would you do the honors of announcing the 6 winners? Of course, we've got it in random order. So Sachin, if you can go ahead and announce.
So
Come on, camera, Sachin.
I thought we'll have this session from Ajay and then the end of the call we'll announce it.
No, we will do it now
Okay, fine.
because we want to give 15 minutes for Ajay for the session and then 15 minutes for Q&A. So we won't have much time after that. So yeah, Ajay is joining at 11 a.m. because he is in a book reading session right now. He has to finish that and then he will come.
Okay, so like we confirm that the names are not in any of the sequence, but we got the name alphabetically, and then again I don't want to read it alphabetically, so I will read randomly whatever the mail I
You
have
do it
in
in the
my.
reverse alphabetical order, Sachin. Don't read it in alphabetical order. Do it in reverse alphabetical order. Let us see how you do it now. Let's
सर
see
मुझे
your
मेहनत
skill.
करनी पड़ेगी ना
And that's इसीलिए तो बोल रहा हूँ मैं.
Okay, so first is
देखे कितनी
Shefali.
ABCD आती है.
Shefali Jain first, then Sahil, then Rahul, then Himani, Gaurav, and Akriti. Gaurav Khurana, Akriti Shukla. So these 6 names are again Sahil, Rahul, Gaurav, Himani, Shefali, Akriti.
So
I think
congratulations to the winners. Can we have you guys on camera, please?
Himani, Gaurav are there. Shefali was on call. Akriti.
Yeah, people are there in the call. I can see.
Sahil is not there, right?
Sahil is not there. Sahil, we can convey the news. Of course.
Rahul is there. Yeah.
Rahul is there. Gaurav is there. Guys, switch on your camera.
And I remember that for the fifth and sixth position, they took a lot of time, right? When we were in the call with them, they took a lot of time to discuss who will be the fifth and sixth one.
Oh God, that is where we discussed all of these points, right? That
Yeah.
What they were actually expecting and things like that. So it is quite interesting. Hey Shefali.
Hi.
Rahul, Akriti, who else? Gaurav, Himani, where are you guys? Okay, there are a couple of special mentions also. Special mentions I of course do not see here. One was I think Jaimala. Okay, Jaimala is pretty new to the world of testing. She is I think started. I think if I'm not wrong, she's a fresh graduate or something like that. Just started her career, but it was a very good effort from her side. Okay, so that is something that they mentioned categorically. It was a very good attempt from Jaimala's side. Who was the other person, Sachin?
Subbu.
Starting with R.
They discussed about Subbu.
Subbu, yeah, Subbu, and there was another lady, I believe, with a name starting with R.
Rajni?
Who was that? Rajni, yes. Rajni, yes. Yes. So these were the names specially taken. Subbu's name was discussed again. So very good attempt, very clear attempt. Vaishali's name also featured. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the discussions, these names came up. So yeah. So again, the contest winners are, if I can see you guys on the screen, are Akriti, Rahul, Imani, Gaurav, Shefali, and Sahil. With only Shefali choosing to switch on her camera. Others are shy, so it's okay. And okay, now Akriti also. That's a good. Akriti, you live in a hill station. You should not be shy of switching on your camera anytime. I can't hear you. You're on mute.
I'm not at here right now. I'm at home, so
It's okay. You can go to the gallery and just teasing. Okay. All right. So some of the things again, when you are given, we are going to be having another contest shortly. Okay, in about a month's time. So now you know what goes on, and this time the stakes are going to be higher because we are going to be offering, tickets to conferences and meetups. Okay, to the winners. Um, So what we are hoping in the next contest is that you come with a lot more preparation. Again, we are going to keep it simple. We're going to be asking you to test a mobile app. Okay, and the reason why we are asking you to test mobile app is because most of the products these days uh, have mobile apps. Okay, whether it is an IoT application or whatever. But next time, I don't think it will be something as easy as Amazon. We're going to make it a little more challenging. We're going to make it as one of the not so popular apps. We're going to pick and again, we're going to do the same exercise. So yeah, so basically prepare, work on some mobile testing strategies. There is one very good one from, and this is the time when I get to do some marketing. There is a very good test strategy in place from Agile Testing Alliance, which is very useful, very handy, and I had a role to play in that, in creating the strategy for that. There are some very good ones. If you have been reading books on mobile testing, you will find some very good test strategies being discussed as to how you can test and what you can do. So if you want, we can also do sessions on that so that you can prepare. So yeah, that's where we stand now. Faiz, you wanted to discuss some important thing about the report. Faiz?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you please repeat? Hello.
No. So if you were given an app, a mobile app, what would be your approach?
Okay. So I think so. Yeah. So if I will go with an app, mobile app, and I think it's under 2 hours. So means what I would do is I would do it in 2 ways. That first I would like to create a kind of so I would do it in 2 ways. I would kind of create I would like to create a basic kind of a test strategy, something means what strategy I am kind of going with. Let's say like I will check these modules and that modules, because I may not be able to create very detailed plan because due to the time constraint. But let's say I will give whenever details possible, like what kind of device I am using, what kind of, let's say, screen size or resolution it has, because that also matters sometimes. So likewise I will try to keep it so I would try to give a balanced approach between between whatever the plan. So I would not be revealing too many details due to the lack of time, but I would at least try to cover from high level what am I gonna do, and then I will start exploring the app. from my side. So and if I'm so what I will do that I will, let's say, divide my time into, let's say, some time frames, let's say 15 minutes or 30 minutes, or depending upon that. And what I will do is that I will try to keep it in, let's say, for 15 minutes for positive flow, and let's say 15 minutes for negative or exploratory flow. And likewise, I will go, and then I will keep last 15 to 30 minutes to, just whatever I have made the observation. So whenever I will test, I will make observation in a manner that that is understandable to me. But then in last 15 to 30 minutes, what I will try to do is that I will first document whatever I have find. I will do all the uploading things and all that. And then once I'm done, then maybe if there is still time, then I will try to again continue with that. So that is the kind of approach I will go if there is an app given to me for testing in under 2 hours.
Yeah, the reason why I asked Faiz to describe what he will do is because Faiz, I know, has won a competition in the past. Okay, and what he and his fellow teammates did was absolutely phenomenal. So that is the reason why I wanted to hear from Faiz as to how he would approach it. Faiz, if I'm not wrong, that time you actually worked on a web app, right? Not a mobile app.
So are you asking in competition, or are you asking about my
that you won, the competition that you won?
Okay, no. So actually, what was the scenario that I with two of my friends who happened to be my co-workers as well. So we participated in that. So we were professionally, we were only web app testers only. So means likewise, let's say I'm like using WhatsApp beta since many years. So likewise, we were kind of a little bit sometimes when we want like to explore things from the let's say as a tester mindset, but we did not know any kind of tool or particular approaches to. We do not have as such what we can say hands-on or professional experience on working on the mobile app side. And we participated in the competition, and I think there were more than 60 teams there. And we were given mobile app at that time. It was the app. The app was announced at just the time of when the competition started, and it had kind of two modules. One was so it was maybe a teaching related app. One was an admin module, one was a student module. So like so since it was in teams, so we were 3 members, so we kind of divided the work that what one will do. So one of my friends started with the admin module, other friend started student module. I started with the documentation, the test strategy first. And to be very honest, it was my first time I created any kind of test strategy document as well, because I was maybe having maybe 2 to 3 years of experience at that point of time. So that was the thing. And once I was able to, so once I kind of created what kind of strategy we are going with, then I also jumped into exploring the apps and finding the bugs. So that was the thing which was happened at the competition. And we were also kind of surprised that so there was one incident kind of funny related to it. So it was a physical event. So when so they had given a deadline, like that you need to submit by this time, but our file was in upload and it was not getting submitted. So we called all the moderators and showed them that our file is still in progress, so please wait for that. And then it was uploaded, and then when after a month or two, when results were declared, so we were at the first. So we got the first place, and we were kind of surprised because there were many people, from the companies which were known from working in the mobile space only. So it was like kind of good experience for us.
Well, yeah, thank you guys for sharing that experience. I also want to share something with you guys. So in 2014, I also participated in a contest, which was, I was certainly not thinking of participating, but the prize was so enticing that I could not stop myself from doing it. And it was an instant decision to just jump in and, spot register and enter. And the app that we got to test was Hike Messenger. That was getting popular those days, and the company itself had sponsored the event. Hike Messenger was looking for defects from users in the crowd, and what we did was we used So since I was part of the Agile Testing Alliance, and I had just finished my the creation of a strategy called guidable inclusions, which covers 18 parameters of mobile applications while testing. So we had just released version 1.0 of that. So we thought, okay, it's a good idea to put that to practice. And we jumped in as a team. We were also a 3-member team, and we divided the work. One person looked at the Android side of things, one person looked at the iOS side of things, and the third person was responsible for documentation of stuff. And then we just we had 4 hours, fortunately for us, not 2 hours, and we just tested the hell out of the app is what we could call. But we were very focused because we knew what are the areas we are touching, what all possibilities we can do, and because it's a messenger app and we were quite used to testing messengers for a long time, whether it was Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, or we had many others at that time like WeChat, Line Chat, and all that. So it was a good experience, and like Faiz said, I mean, it helps if you can divide the work in specific buckets of time. What I thought was a lot of you fell short of time. Okay, probably if you had got maybe say 2 more hours, maybe you would have got better results. Well, it is 11 a.m. by the clock now in India, and I am waiting for Ajay. I messaged him. Let's see. He is in a book reading session right now. He should be in here any moment. Yep, there he is. Hey, Ajay.
Hi, Brijesh. Hello, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Ajay.
Hey, Sahil.
Hi,
Sahil
Brijesh.
just jumped in from the other session.
Yeah, Sahil, you are late, but just to announce it once again, you are one of the 6 winners of the contest.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah. So we see people joining. Ajay, so the floor will be yours. Please walk people through the wonderful world of Mindmaps. Ajay, 20 minutes and then 10 minutes of Q&A.
Okay, so I'll kind of merge it both. Do you have a set pattern to follow, or you will give me 20 minutes? Or?
No, you can go freestyle. Your style.
Okay. Okay. Great. So
I will make you a presenter.
So
Ajay.
this is
Just a moment. मैं आपको presenter बना देता हूँ, so you can share stuff. Okay. I think you can do now. Yeah. So over to you, Ajay.
okay. Let me check if I can share the screen. It says open system preferences. Okay, so while I iron out the GoToMeeting settings issues, I would like to hear the questions that you have. What do you want me to cover? Because you are spending a part of your life.
You requested the session, so I'm expecting a question from you. Rahul has been very silent.
To apply changes and rejoin your meeting, click restart. Shall I go back and come soon? Meanwhile, if I can get a list of questions somewhere noted down, I can come back and chat.
Yeah. So guys, no questions from you guys. You just want Ajay to just Ajay, I did not get any questions so far. I don't know. I'll check in the chat window if there are.
How can we write test cases using mind map?
Yeah, that's the one that I see.
Okay, so here is the thing. I don't write test cases using mind map. I don't write test cases. Point one. Okay, so it doesn't matter through mind map or without mind map, right? I don't write test cases. What I write is test ideas. For example, Brijesh, I am not able to share my screen. It says to share your screen, ask the organizer to make you presenter.
Again? Okay. Oh
Yes.
yeah, because you joined again, right? So yeah, okay.
History of mind mapping, Tony Buzan, and not someone who claims on LinkedIn that they introduced mind map. Okay, so Tony Buzan is the creator of mind maps. And tools that
was still important for people to know.
no, I remember few conversations and I will never forget them.
Yeah.
Okay, so tools that you use, I use Xmind. I started with FreeMind. I played a lot with MindMeister, Coggle. Then there is one more which integrates well with Google. I don't remember the name, but MindMeister is. See, if you are doing it alone, use Xmind.
Is it Mindmap? Is it Mindmap, Ajay?
Yes. Minmap or Mindmap. Minmap, right? I don't think there is a
Mindmap.
or okay. Mindmap.
I remember it used to integrate with your Google Drive.
Correct.
Pretty much all the functionalities available if you are using Google Drive.
For collaboration, use MindMeister. Okay, how do I pop it out and then can I expand the chat? How can we write test cases using Mindmap? I'll come back to that, what we can do with Mindmap. History of Mindmap done, tools that you use is done. What are the other questions? How do you use Mindmap to memorize a difficult concept? Okay, I will show you that. Do you recommend getting the paid version of Xmind or is the free version sufficient? I use free version and I've been using it for 10 years. I've not faced any critical issues. So that's fine.
Yeah, I've used from version 4 to version 8 now. I mean, I've been using so many versions so far, and I think the free version does the trick for me at least. So I never had to go to the paid one.
So do you see this mind map?
Yes.
This is a summary of a book called How to Break Software. The entire book is in form of a mind map here. Let me show you a few more mind maps. So this is again a book, How to Sell Yourself. Now what you see in this mind map, the nodes, right? That is not important. See the structure of the mind map. It is kind of balanced, the left and right. And you don't see any sentence that drags the mind map, to extreme one side. Okay. You see colors, you see good categorization, and then, like for example, if you want to sell yourself in maturity is a chapter, and it had 2 sections, so I made it into this, and then this section has these many notes. And do you see that it says For example, here, right, clothing. How to blow it up, meaning how to get your reputation down in front of public is having bad clothing. Okay, so I did not write the entire sentence here. I just put the keyword here, clothing. So use phrases when you create mind maps. And before we even go into different kinds of mind maps or what to do with mind maps, one point I would like to highlight is don't use mind maps if you are too much involved or into that bad habit of not using mind maps. For example, you are very comfortable with Word, with Excel. It will be a little hard to come to another software like Xmind and start mind mapping. Instead, pick a notebook, pick a pen or pencil or color pens or whatever, and then draw a map of any generic topic. For example, who are your friends? Draw that map, like, and it could be in any way. Don't write it as a list, bulleted list, numbered list, dashed list, nothing like that. Try to draw. Maybe draw their photo, try to draw their photo, try to write or try to draw what you like in them, right? So that is a good exercise to get you started with thinking, coming out of that rigid structure which software like Word, Excel, what else, anything other than mind map makes you think. Once you are comfortable with that, once you break that barrier of, oh, where do I put this? Oh, there is no restriction here. I can put anywhere I want in the in the empty page. Once you develop that mindset, it is very easy to create mind maps. Okay. How do you use mind map to memorize a difficult concept? Fires, as I showed you 2 to 3 different images. I don't memorize. I somehow feel we should use our brains to think and not as a storage device. If you can write it down somewhere, if you can know where to find it, don't remember it. Do you recommend getting, no, okay, this was answered. Do you have a list online where you have some mind maps to help us? Some folder, some site? Of course. I don't have it, but I know where to find it. If we search for test insane mind maps, where I also contributed.
I was going to say that. That is one hell of a resource. Test insane.
Here, software testing mind maps. It is great. Some of the mind maps are not great, but that's okay, right? I can see it is quite useful. Why the industry is not using it as a part of their sprint practices like an important test artifact? Oh, courage is the answer. People are not courageous to fail. People are not courageous to defend their ideas. How can mind map help in evaluating test coverage? Okay, let's take this mind map. Okay, how do I get this? Let me, yeah, fine. This is a good mind map example to answer your question. Can I open this image in new? Okay, perfect. I am not able to show you how messed up my screen is because of GoToMeeting overlapping most of the tabs. But then I have a workaround. Command 9 should get me to the last tab. Yes.
Ajay, you can minimize the settings panel and drag it from the tabs to maybe down on your screen.
Yes. So I also want to see what's happening with what are you seeing? Okay. So here, for example, important web app secure code review assessment keywords, right? Don't pay attention to what is written here. Pay attention to think of your application, and all of these are your features or the different things to test. Okay. Now, how do we check or assess the coverage? So here you can write all the things that you want to investigate, correct? And then you can write a tick or a cross, tick, cross, or in progress symbol and things like that. So let me open Xmind. And then you can calculate saying, okay, how many of these are done and how many of these are not done. With that, you have a coverage measurement. Okay, most of these questions I have answered in my presentation. Let me take you to my blog. If you go here and then there is, if you search for Mindmaps, excellent tool to aid testing thought process, this PPT, which is, yeah, it downloads directly. Ajay, can you hide your video? Please viewing in phone. Okay. But if I hide your video, you can still see my screen. Okay, done. Done, Dimpy. Okay, have I answered all the questions? Great, and I still have time. Okay, now let me talk about what I wanted to talk about Mindmaps. Let's start with the basics. Where do you use Mindmaps? I use Mindmaps right from my first discussion with the customer, right? I make notes. I read requirement documents. I can come up with saying, oh, this is a question, this is an idea, this is a note, this is a bug, this is something I definitely need to check. All of these can go as 5 different notes, right? So that is on the requirement discussion. And then say I'm testing. So I'll say, okay, this is my feature. What are the testable elements of this feature? I can put it into a mind map. And then coverage. Now I'm going to test each of it. So once I create a feature map of my application, the next thing I do is do a file save as and name it as my test design map. So let me start with an example. And for example, if I had to test this GoToMeeting, okay, well, I'll close everything else. Gaurav, your question is if it is too complex, would it happen that the only one who created would understand? Yes, most probably. If no one else understands mind maps or you follow different conventions. But if you work as a team, the first 4 or 5 maps would be very different. One would create a very detailed map. One would be like on the high level, right? And that is where, as a team, all of you will learn what is the best approach that will help everyone. Okay? Who has to tone down and who has to add more details. And once that is done, then everyone of you will be on the same page and could create similar maps. Okay, thanks, Brijesh. Okay, so now focus. This is how I would start my testing session. Now, for example, I have to test the chat section of GoToMeeting. Is this GoToMeeting, right? Yes. Okay, so I'll say I create a new map. We'll come back to the other questions. So this is GoToMeeting chat. Okay, first thing I do is press enter multiple times. Okay, then I save it. So many people don't save stuff and then they lose, and they don't switch on auto save also, what you see at the bottom right, okay, just above my Xmind icon. Okay, I've saved it. Now this is my feature map. Okay, in the feature map I will list out all the features. For example, in the chat, what do I see? I see a close icon. Then I see a chat text. Then I see an option to pop out. Then I see I see a text message. In the text message, what do I see? Who wrote, which is again in bold. And then I also see who to whom. Okay. And I also see a timestamp. And I also see the message. Now I'll stop here, and then I see a box where it is a text field. Now what does this text field have? It has the pre-canned text. What is the pre-canned text? Meaning it is already there, right? What is that text? Message to everyone. Now if you notice, I write exactly how I see. I don't make the E small or whatever, because this is my source of truth now. Tomorrow if the application changes, I will trust my mind map that it was capital E in version so and so. I will not say, oh, maybe I wrote it as lowercase e. Okay, I will not do that. Then I have a 2 section with no space and a colon, and I have a drop down. What does, I'll not write drop down, I'll not go to, I'll just click on, oh, fantastic. So I would take a screenshot. Okay, and I would also take a screenshot of the chat section. And if you notice, I hit enter here, and I don't use the menu options, but I remember the shortcuts. That is how I save a lot of time. Then I know that these are the 2 screenshots, right? And I can also do one more, and then Command I or Control I based on your OS. Then I go 11/1948 and 11/1954. Then this is not required, so I remove that. And there is one more node I create. Command I again, and I check my time. I have 10 minutes, which is a lot of time. So I go to 11/1954 is already covered, so 50/48, right? So with this done, this is my feature map. Any questions here? You need to ask me super quick. You can unmute and ask.
Quick one, AJ.
How did you get?
Oh, sorry.
No,
Quick
just ask the question, Sharon.
Yeah. How did you insert the images into the mind map?
Control I, shortcut.
Okay, thank you.
How did you do that green outlines, underlines, and 6 nodes in one go? Okay, that was magic of network lag. I pressed enter 6 times, but it looked like I did that magic of bringing 6 nodes in one shot. That green outline is Control B, which is, if you see at the top, it is one of these icons. Okay, so this is my feature map.
Nodes, right?
Bye bye.
No, abhi chal raha hai session. So this is main node, this is child node, and then this is another sub node. No, this is not like a node. This is called as a boundary. Once I create the feature map, I do a save as. And this is one of the other magics I do. Test ideas. Okay, I said test ideas. If you see, this is my test ideas map now. Now, how will I test the close? Is what I will write here. I will test close by click. I will test close by going to tab. I will test close when someone is typing. I will test close when it is just launching. I will need to test close in different screen sizes, right? So these are my test ideas to test just the close icon. And I will also test if there is any tooltip. I will also test if it is inconsistent with close button in the GoToMeeting app in other panels. For example, it is in the left position, right? In this particular chat. Where is it? Here, it is in the left position, correct? You see that? But if in other panels, if it was on the right, I would raise it as a bug. Using the heuristics, hiccups, HICCUPPS, it is actually few hiccups. I suggest you go and find out few hiccups by Michael Bolton. Okay, but will you write all these ideas or we assume teams will test? No, there is no test cases. This is my test case. How would you incorporate end-to-end flow in mind map? I most of the times might not use mind maps for that. I will see what can be done in mind map. I'll do in mind map. When I say mind map is good, I am not someone who will say use mind map for everything. Okay, so chat is just a text, right? So again, what could be here? Font. So okay, these are all UI. So let's come back to here, text field, for example, right? So here, what can be tested? Message to, oh, this is incoming message, right? So here, different character sets. All of you know what are the test ideas. Now the beauty is this. Oh, I don't want to leave. I want to collapse. Okay. So for here, character sets, for example, right? Say right to left languages, someone did. Then there are different languages like French, Spanish. Then only numbers, then spaces. Okay, these are my test ideas. Now I go back and mark using markers whether things worked or did not work. For example, if I use spaces and there were issues, I would mark it as red. For numbers, for example, I did not test it, so I'd mark it as yellow. French and Spanish, it worked fine. I would mark it as green. And what did I use as test data? From where did I use? I used from french.typeit.org. Okay, and you can also refer my notes section where I have the detailed notes. I can also insert a note. F4 is the shortcut, so I'll remember next time. Okay, so I used maybe these characters. Okay, so this way I will close. This could be my test data. Okay, and then most important thing is, as you are with me right now, you understand what these flags mean. But for someone who is not in the session and who sees the map, they don't understand, right? So I add a legend. So what does red mean? Bugs are present. Orange, in progress. Green, tested, works fine. Time check, 4 more minutes left. Let me stop here and take some questions. How about assertions? Test ideas we can put. How many people will remember assertion? Can you rephrase the same question in different words? Gaurav? Okay, I was expecting the question. And I would save this as well. Now, for every session, I would have a mind map. I would have my notes. I would have my recording. So if there are any questions by anyone, I would say, okay, what do you want? You want the recording to see what I did with the application? You want my notes where I wrote what I did? Or you want the mind map where I have the results in terms of what worked and what did not work? Right. So this is one of the ways I use mind maps. Oh, brilliant. Now that we are in this session, I will show you one more way of how I've used mind maps for requirement document sessions or okay. are able to see this in detail, correct? So this is one page mind map, which I used to use in a company in most of the meetings. If someone says, Ajay, I want you to test this feature, I would start with these questions. Oh, when is it being released? Is it, what kind of release is this? It is a daily dose, or it is, will it affect the agents? Who is on the team? Who is the developer? Who is the QA? Who is the product, product owner? And I will go ask the product owner, what is the use case? What is the end-to-end that should work? And what is the biggest risk you have? What services? These are specific to that product. You can ignore that. What are the customer type? What are the roles and rights? I keep answering these here, meaning maybe I can use pen to write here, or I can use, if it is on a laptop, I can write answers against these notes. With this is my master sheet for that feature. If tomorrow someone says, hey, you know what, you did not test MDM plus SPS, I would say, I asked you all these questions. You said no against this. After the meeting, I would email it to everyone, right? Saying this is what we agreed upon. So imagine I have asked more than 50 questions, okay? But then put all the answers in one, okay. Using this mind map, I have asked more than 50 questions, got answers to it, and all of it in a single page. Instead of asking people to refer to a 50-page document or a 10-page document, I say refer this one page, but then you get all your questions answered. Let me go to Gaurav's question first. Oh, Gaurav did not ask. Okay. What all phase or places in testing we should use mind maps? Remove the word should. If you want, you use. And I have answered these in the PPT link which I've shared above. Chandan, which phase of sprint is suitable for adding mind map? Again, see, folks, I've been hearing questions like this. Where to use this kind of testing technique, or when to use? See, you use the technique if it is useful. If you feel this technique can solve something, use it. Don't categorize saying, oh, I have to use it here. If it is not helping, don't use it. Okay. So there is no hard and fast rule that you have to use mind map only at first position or like third position of your cycle or whatever. Wherever it helps you save time and collaborate with people, use it. If it doesn't help, don't use it. If you're happy with the way you're using, you're working, continue that. Do you include your oracles in your test idea mind map? Good question. Most of the times, no. Because I expect the testers to understand the oracles. Because if I put the oracles also for each test idea, then again it becomes a bulky one. So I would expect the testers to know what the oracles are and to highlight them when they highlight their bugs. And that is a separate training outside this mind map. So Brijesh, I know I've exceeded by 1 minute, but it's up to you when you want me to end the session.
No, I mean, if there are any other questions, we can go on if for another 5 minutes maybe.
One question from my side, if I can ask.
Yeah.
So product modeling, right? So any specific advantages that you see for doing the product modeling in mind map versus the typical Excel, or anything specific where you feel okay, it's more effective or it's not effective in certain situations?
Okay, so this way, let me give you 2 links which has even more examples of I hope this is the right link. Perfect. It is. This is one, and if I did map 1, then it should be one more, should be emoji. Excellent. Okay, it used to have mind maps here. Now it doesn't. So Sunny, I have started using Excel for doing PCO because I feel like it's more like a question and answer. Um, the reason why I have not used mind map is I've not tried. That's the only reason I can think of. But I feel you can still go ahead and use mind maps. And if we see what Darren Macmillan has done, I can show you that how he has beautifully linked the different nodes, something like this. This way, right? Okay, so this is one example. So as I told, start using mind map and then you figure out where you can use, rather than with the question of where to use mind maps. Don't go with that question. You first get comfortable with mind maps, first get comfortable with using mind maps as an extension of your brain, right? See, for a musician, for like a guitarist, the right guitar is the key. If I tell no, you have to use this guitar, he'll say no, I cannot, right? Same way, I will not tell you where to use mind maps. I will say first you pick up a guitar, any guitar. Like I'll say any mind map. Try creating any mind map. Then you see whether you're comfortable with that or not. If you're not, then switch to another, right? If I tell you no, you should use this weight of guitar or bat, then if it is not comfortable for you, you will never use it again, right? So start with paper and pen, and then slowly you can go and you will see that, oh, I am comfortable with 5 nodes. Anything more than 5 nodes, it worries me, so I'll not use mind map. Fine, that is your preference, right? So it is an individual choice. Now I am someone who thinks a lot in a short time. I can come up with like 40 different nodes, within minutes. Some are there who need a lot of time to think. There is nothing wrong in that. Some are deep thinkers. I am more like an instinctive thinker, right? So I like mind maps because I can put anything and everything that comes to my mind, in a node and not worry about what to do with it. I can rearrange it later. Some are deep thinkers. They want to write paragraphs and paragraphs of text for a single node. For them, mind map might not be suitable, right? So things like that. Can we add hyperlinks to text in mind map? Yes, you can. How do you use it officially? As the free version, they say for personal use only, so I doubt it company will sue me. Outside the scope of this discussion. I love seeing myself. So sorry, Dimpy, I've switched on my video.
No. Yeah, I was going to say that we are 6 minutes past the scheduled time, 7 minutes now. Well, so
Right.
for any other questions, you guys can reach out. I mean, we can bring up those questions in the group, in the test chat group, and then we can obviously arrange for another session with Ajay. Based
So
on
the next session will happen only when you try out maps and then you bring me your maps. Then
exactly.
I can be quickly able to give you feedback.
I was going to say exactly that before you try and ask other questions, it will be a good idea if you can try doing something with mind maps. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be related to testing. It can you can watch probably a video on YouTube and put the salient points of that video on a mind map or whatever, or I don't know how many of you have seen The Social Dilemma already. If you want to watch that on Netflix and do a summary on using a mind map or what you learned or what can be done or something like that, okay, whatever. whatever comes to your mind, if you can do that, then do that, and then come back with your questions. Okay, then try and fit in a context. I mean, with regards to your testing, then you may have questions. Try it, okay? Try it. If you want to try a mind map or using pen and paper, feel free to do so. If you want to use any of the tools that Ajay has mentioned, he's mentioned quite a lot of them. Please feel free to do so. I would now request all of you to switch on your cameras for a moment so that we can take a nice picture, family photograph. Okay, so if we can do that, that would be really nice.
See, I will wrap it up by saying I was never an expert at mind map. There are people who do better mind maps than me even today. But when I started, I did not know how to do. I asked Darren McMillan in 2010 how to do, and then he wrote a long blog post explaining how to do. And then in 2012, I won the best new joiner award in my company for introducing mind map to the whole company. So it took 2 years. Okay, so if it takes time. Don't expect miracles. Miracles,
Well,
the pace at which they come, they go away.
I was lucky to have learned it from the man himself, Tony Buzan. But then to bring it to practice, it also took me a lot of time because his sessions were like really, really good. And he obviously started by saying, okay, when you think of when I talk about Apple, what comes to your mind? Okay, that's how he starts normally, and that's what he did. And a lot of people had different ideas. Somebody came up with the idea of a green apple, and everybody was thinking that apple should only be a red in color. Okay, and then people were those days people were very fond of iPods, not even iPads. So iPods were very popular. So Apple iPods was another thing that came to people's mind. So these were the kind of thoughts, and that's how it began. And a great journey so far. Mind maps I've been using for a long time. So it's fun. I mean, you should try it. Okay, you should try it. And okay, I'll give people another 10 seconds to switch their cameras on. Those who are on, we can.
And if you have kids who worry about remembering a lot of stuff on reading,
yes.
So, I mean, mind maps are easy to recollect stuff. Mind maps are easy to store stuff and prompt you to remember stuff. Okay, it will not help you remember. It will prompt you to remember what are the key things. It's like 2 minutes before the final exam, you can see the mind map and like, oh, I don't understand this node at all. Let me go and check. Right? Our mind thinks like a mind map, so it is better we use the appropriate tool rather than try to force our brain to think in terms of checklist and list.
Yes. Okay. I saw Sunny's camera on and then go off again. I'm just waiting for that one moment when I can take. Okay. Akriti, Dimpy, you guys it just takes 5 seconds for you to come on the camera if you can.
Let me change my lighting. So
Ajay is getting out professional now. Okay, with
it's simple. Switch on the torch on the phone and put it on the laptop screen.
Okay, others are also free to take any pictures if they have taken. Okay, so thank you, Ajay, for the session. But I also again want to repeat the announcement that I made at the beginning of the call. The contest that we had, there are 6 winners who have been, who have been adjudged as the winners. The names are Gaurav, my friend on the screen, smiling. Congratulations, Gaurav. Sahil, what happened to your camera? We have
Thank you, Vijay.
Akruti, Shifali, Himani, and Rahul.
Fantastic! Congratulations.
So 6 winners. Great job, guys. In the limited time, you all did wonderfully. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know that there will be another testing contest. This time the stakes will be higher. Maybe the duration will be also a little longer. So you will all have a lot of fun. Prepare. There are a lot of lessons learned that from this testing contest. You must have realized some of the things. Use some of the tools that Ajay has just suggested. So yeah, before that, if you want to have a prep session for the contest, we can do that also. So please make suggestions. All right. On that note, I would like to thank you all for joining this call today. Wonderful seeing these happy smiling faces. All of you enjoy your weekend and have a lot of fun. Cheers.
Thanks,
you.
Vijay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ajay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Ajay. Thanks, Vijay. Bye.
Thanks, Brigitte. Thanks, AJ. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Sharon.
Cheers.
Always good to see you.
Thanks.